welcome to the Anacortes City Council meeting of 23 June 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Franciak, would you take the roll, please?
Mr. Fantini.
Here.
Mr. Young.
Here.
Mr. Walters. Ms. Cleland McGrath.
Here.
Ms. Moulton.
Here.
Mr. McDougall.
Here.
Ms. Hubick. Thank you.
Mayor Miller,
Mr. Fantini.
I move to excuse the absences of council members Hubick and Walters.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fantini, a second by Mr. Young to excuse Councilmember Walters and Hubick. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? All right, first up is announcements and committee reports. I have a couple of announcements. Again, like to thank our staff, particularly APD, Public Works and Parks Department, for their work to keep the Pride Parade on Saturday well organized and safe. So I appreciate everything they do there. Also, coming up, so we're not going to have a council meeting next Monday because that's the fifth Monday, and council doesn't convene on the fifth Monday. So I'll make a couple of 4th of July announcements, and that program starts at 10 a.m. at 5th and Commercial on the 4th of July, which is not this Friday, but the following Friday. And then the parade will begin at 11 a.m. Also, 4th of July fireworks, donations are being accepted. It's obviously a big tradition in Anacortes, but the fireworks display is especially spectacular because of donations made from the community. So you can make donations to the Anacortes Parks Foundation and drop them off at City Hall, or contribute securely online at anacortesparksfoundation.org. And then again, our next council meeting will be July 7th. And Planning Committee, I understand, did not meet. Any other announcements or committee reports I may have missed?
Mayor Miller.
Mr. Young?
If I may, I just really wanted to elaborate on how thankful we were at the Pride Parade. I was MC, of course, but we had our police there. They were mingling, particularly, I think it was Clifford and Monahan. They were just so wonderful, just floated throughout the crowd. And given the times that we're in right now, it was a comfort, really, it is. And so, but it was just such a wonderful thing, and I just wanted to thank not only our police, but you and the team for allowing that. So many people turned out, showed up, all across the spectrum, but it really was a gift of love and a thanks to a city as we put forward our face for the world, but for everyone to know that everyone has a place here. And so thank you very much for that.
Okay. Any other announcements or committee reports? All right, we'll move on to item 4. Item 4 is public comment. Any member of the public wish to address the council on anything that's not on our agenda? And I've got a couple folks signed up. So you sign up, you always get to go first. And first up, I have Mark Robinson on dog parks. So come on up. Got 3 minutes, but we won't start the timer till you're ready to go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we want to make sure you get the microphone turned on, which is at the base of the. Yep. And then
green light must mean it's on.
And state your name and the city you live in, please.
You bet. I'm Mark Robinson. I live in Anacortes down on K Way. And what I'd like to address this evening is the dog swimming pool issue that's raised its ugly head the last couple of weeks. So about a month ago, I bought a little swimming pool on Amazon, 7-foot wide pool for the dogs to get cool in. They've had, since 2003, I think Mr. Turner started the dog park up at Ace of Hearts, and since then we've always had a wading pool for the dogs, usually those little plastic things you get at Walmart, which aren't big enough for my Labrador, so we got a little bigger one. So everything was fine until one day, all of a sudden, we got there in the morning, and the Parks Department had decided to put a sign on the door that says, no wading pools and no dog pools allowed at the dog parks. So I came down and talked to John Lunsford? Yeah, Lunsford. Nice gentleman, and a lady who didn't introduce herself, about the situation. And John said, well, we don't let them because sometimes we think maybe it's a hazard to somebody's health or it's dangerous. And we don't let anybody have any private stuff in the parks, like chairs or anything. So I went down to the other park yesterday morning and took a picture, and lo and behold, we do have chairs down there. Lots of them that people sit on. Apparently they're not as big of a hazard as John thinks. Anyway, and then they switched their tune about 2 days later to saying, no, now it's a health hazard. So what I would have done is brought this tennis ball, which I retrieved from the park this afternoon, which every dog up there plays with. So if there's a health hazard, I've got it here. It's not the swimming pool. So what we'd like to do, and I should say, am I representing the Ace of Hearts Dog Park Association?
All right,
Which
so
we
you're,
should
you're
have.
speaking, you're speaking for a group on this issue. Great.
Anyway, what we'd like to do is get some kind of a get-together with some of us, with the Parks and Rec Department, with you folks' help, or hopefully a representative, and get a policy set that allows us to have a pool that the dog can enjoy. And it gets drained every day and refilled and washed out. Nobody wants their dog getting sick. So we'd like you guys to help back us a little bit, and let's put together a little discussion with the parks and come up with something that works for the dogs and doesn't get anybody sick and doesn't cost us anything but, 100 gallons of water every couple of days.
All right. Well, thank you. That was succinct, and appreciate you bringing this info
You bet.
before council.
And by the way,
I think
we love the parks in this city. This place has got better parks than anywhere I've been in the country. It's amazing.
right.
Where you get the money is beyond me, but we're happy you do.
Well, thank you. Next up, I've got Pat Gardner. Parking and Events Center is the topic.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, Pat Gardner, Anacortes. 2 notes. I'm hoping I can keep it within my time frame.
Oh, excuse me. Someone's speaking.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Gardner.
Sorry. On the parking, we have a lot of affordable housing, and more coming, I suppose, and parking garages that are built for mini cars when everybody's got SUV cars, and they store everything in their garages. And some streets are just packed with cars all along the streets, which makes it narrow on both sides. No, I can't say any particular street, but many of them. And we have car prowls. Well, I can't imagine why we have car prowls. Putting candy in front of these burglars, they're asking for it. And wonder if insurance companies are aware of, they're given the opportunity to park in some place safe, and they're not abiding by it. And I feel that maybe when we do allow these buildings to be built, I don't know all the technical issues, making sure they have garages that are wide enough for big vehicles, and that if they're renting, the management company encourages them to use their garages as what they're for, period. On the event center, I'm a member of FOSS, Friends of Sailor Sea. I'm on the committee, and we had a meeting this morning, and we meet from November to March at the event center down there by the Seafair Park. And we love it being there. It's a good venue, and we can accommodate up to 200 people, and sometimes we could probably take 3 or 4 if it gets so busy. But there's no other venue in this town. The high school, fine, but then we have to go rent chairs and move and blah, blah, blah. Costs get to be prohibited. But I know you guys are working on an event center. But it's nothing you haven't heard before. The longer you wait, the more money it's going to cost. It's probably already doubled in the past couple of years. And I'd like to know some status on, is it still in that location by the Cap Sandy area? That's where,
we are still working with the Port of Anacortes to move forward with an event
so
center
I need
at
to
that
go to the
location.
port meetings and talk to them too.
So we're both working together
Yeah.
to make that happen.
But anyway, the longer you wait, it's going to be, or we won't be here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I have Lynetta Falconberry, and it's Dog Park. I don't know if you felt like you were represented already with the speaker, but you're welcome to come up. I'm fine. Okay. All right. Anybody? Okay. Yep. Come on up. So, yeah,
I want to thank the committee for allowing us
please-
to speak on this matter.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Can you state your name and the city you
Yes,
live
I
in?
was
please?
just getting to that.
Okay. Yep. That
My name
goes
is-
first.
My name is Alan Lewis, and I'm a 30-year resident of the Anacortes area. And I've been visiting the dog parks for 20 years in this area, which I think that's how long that this particular dog park was established. And we've, and I'm speaking to the safety of our dogs. It's called heat exhaustion. And what happens is that a dog that can't cool himself down properly in a dog park with no trees or little shade, let me stress, very little shade, especially black dogs, there's a health issue there for our beloved animals. So I thought it was very odd that one individual that got upset that his dog was getting wet in the dog park, that happened to be an ex-employee retired from the Parks and Recreation, could pull strings to the higher echelons of that organization and all of a sudden get the pools removed from the dog parks. I was taken back by this. I couldn't believe that somebody would put the safety of our animals, which we love, ahead of one individual's desire to keep his dogs dry. I'm begging this committee to work out some kind of a deal with several of the individuals here that would be more than welcome to sign stating, which we already do, but we'll sign a statement stating that every single day these dog ponds will be replaced with fresh water. And I also can say that if there's a petition needed, we literally can get hundreds of individuals that'll sign over the one individual that's an ex-employee of the Parks Department that had this whole thing started. This individual and his wife started this dog park 20 years ago. There's always been pools there. And the funny thing about it is this individual, unnamed, showed up about 2 years ago, and all of a sudden our pools started getting sliced and vandalized. And everybody was scratching their head. I mean, you probably, most of you have dogs. Their claws are rounded. They can't slice plastic. So we question this. So all of a sudden, it seems as though we found out who that individual is. We really are speaking to you out of the health concerns of our animals. As you know, it was 70 degrees today in Anacortes, and the temperature is rising. I have a completely all-black dog, and my friends over here and many others have dogs of multicolors that need cooling down when it's hot. Please take this on. Is a very important issue that needs to be addressed. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I can assure you we'll take a look at the appropriate policy, and I have a long-haired German Shepherd, so I know that dogs can get hot. Okay, is there anybody else that would like to address the council? Okay. Checking online, and okay, we'll move on to our. Oh, so you want to address the council? Okay. All right, you almost missed the window. That was very close. And please.
My name's Don Falconberry. I live on.
Sorry, can you make sure the microphone's on?
What do I have to do?
Just turn the.
Put.
Is the light on at the base of the microphone? Down there? Okay. Nope. One more time. Sorry, we record this. You're on TV. I know Channel 10, everybody watches it.
My name is Don Falconberry. I live on 10th Street. You said something about a policy. What is that policy?
I am not going to answer policy questions or code questions, and we don't know. I've assured you that we'll look into what this issue is.
But there is a policy.
I have no idea.
You said policy.
Yeah, I said we will look into the policy, sir.
So there is a policy.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Please state what you need to address the council
Well,
on.
I just wanted to know if there is a policy
A policy on, we have policies
regarding the regulations within the dog park.
No, we have policies, we have tons of policies and regulations on parks in the city of Anacortes.
So there is a policy at the dog park. Regulations and policies.
We have regulations and policies that govern all of our parks in the city of Anacortes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, move on to our consent agenda, items 5A through E. Council.
Mayor Miller,
Mr. Young.
I move we approve the consent agenda items 5A, B, C, D, and E.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Mr. Young and a second by Ms. Cleland McGrath to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right. We will move on to item 6A. This is a public hearing. It's a second public hearing. This is ordinance 5001, Transportation Improvement Program. This is a discussion item and possible action, although I believe there's a time date stamp that Mr. Rayam, I'm sure, will brief the council on. Mr. Rayam, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Tonight is the second hearing for the Transportation Improvement Program. It's also an ordinance 5001. The Transportation Improvement Program is the document that we use to communicate with the Skagit County Association of Governments. Is that what it's called? I know the acronym.
I'm not sure, and I'm the chair of it.
Okay, well, let's go with SCOG.
SCOG.
That then gets rolled up into the state. And it's all a planning exercise, basically, so the state has a good idea of what are the needs that are for all the way down to the cities and the counties. So it is due by July 1st. The feedback I got last week made me think, well, why don't we just try to slam the gas on doing the capital facilities plan and then change out the cover of it and say it's the Transportation Improvement Program, so that we can have a cohesive document through the different processes. So that was feedback from council, a great idea. I just want to make sure we know we're not approving the capital facilities plan tonight. It's a draft that's for the planning purposes. I got some feedback from Councilmember Walters just now, all things that I think we can address during the capital facilities process. This is, again, the transportation improvement plan, or program. And then I did get, sorry, one more thing. Councilmember McDougall found a Scribner error in the calculations. The amount of the projects should also have a matching total by year for the revenues to pay for the project. So there was a couple of years there that they were off. We just were doing it manually. We were hurrying, so those have been fixed.
All right. Well, any questions for Mr. Rayam?
Mayor Miller.
Mr. Young.
No, I wanted to comment that in looking at the plan and looking at the project summary sheet, I was really appreciative for that because it kind of condenses everything for you to take a look and sort of be able to see it all together and how it relates one to another. I was very happy to see the Guimas Channel trail phases still being mentioned because that, for me and many others is still, along with the other stuff, of course, an important issue of trying to connect those pieces together and to make it, again, the waterfront is really all about everyone and, the masses of all of us that don't live on the waterfront but love that walk, that, hike, that bike ride, that, peaceful tranquil journey along with the little benches there set up. It's a beautiful thing. You know, as the gentleman said, you know, we live in an extraordinary place. We really do. And I think that part of the goal of any city is to ensure that, you know, the maximum benefit without disruption as best as we can, but the maximum benefit to all the citizenry is brought forward. So I'm just saying I'm really happy about that, and quite honestly, the way it was outlined really explained everything I needed to know at this point in the juncture. So, thank you.
Mayor Miller.
Ms. Cleland McGrath.
Thank you. So I just want to say thank you so much for putting all that effort in to translate it into a little bit what I think is a more clear and concise presentation. I think that I benefit from it. I think council does, and I think the public will too. So I had accepted the fact that it was probably not going to happen this year, but thank you for making it happen, you and your staff. I think it really is valuable moving forward. So I appreciate the location, the description, the justification when necessary, the funding sources, the initial table without all the colors, just, it doesn't make my skin crawl. So, so it's a good, valuable document for us to have, and that's the goal of it. So thank you for all of the work.
It was mostly staff, but yeah, I'll let them know.
This is an asterisk item. Any member of the public want to comment on this one? Is public hearing? Okay. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And council, you can still ask questions. Mr. Young?
In lieu of any additional questions, if no one has any, and unless there's anything Mr. Rayon wants to elaborate on, I thought I'd give you that opportunity too. I move to approve Ordinance 5001 adopting the 2026 through 2031 Transportation Improvement Program.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Young, second by Mr. Fantini to approve Ordinance 5001. Any additional discussion? Mr. Franczak, vote please.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Cleland McGrath,
Yes.
Ms. Moulton,
Yes.
Mr. McDougall,
Yes.
Mr. Fantini.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. No further business for the council. I'll adjourn tonight's meeting. Have a great night.